All right, so we're gonna try to do this really smooth for the sake of Allah. Polight is definitely not a molester according to Moorish law. Allah says, "Huwa alladhi halakakum min tin, thumma qada ajalla," and that simply means that Allah created the man from the mud and then gave the mud a designated time. This is a qada. This is the as it was written. So we know Allah is talking about the body clock, right? Allah says Qada Ajalla, meaning that this is something that Allah has done in the beginning before man can even interfere. Then Allah continues to say Wa Ajallu Musammu Indahu, and there's another time that don't have Qada on it, right? And Allah says ends it by saying Thumma Antum Tumtarun, so that you won't be confused. And this is why today you have grown adults with a child's mind, right? You got teen pregnancy and you have people being called molesters because according to Allah, the body clock is qada. It has predetermination. Man cannot determine when a person is mature physically. When the body is able to reproduce and make children, these particular things man cannot decide, right? So Allah says this qada on the body will happen, and then there's another time that man has no qada on. This is called the mental development. Because of the lack of information being disseminated in a package, like in a religious package system, because the house of consciousness is a house that is in disorder, and you see a whole bunch of different ideologies being conveyed, there's no systematic way to justify Polight's accusations or alleged charges being placed against him. Even Dr. Reggie, who's supposed to be an Egyptian master, should know that King Tut was like 13 years old, sat on the throne. See, back in Egyptian days, the black man did not see a 14-year-old as a child. King Tut was younger than this woman being accused of being molested by Polight, right? But Dr. Reggie doesn't want to stand up for Egypt. The House of Consciousness doesn't want to stand up for their black. Really, Polight something like a knight of scholarship for that channel. And it's like they waiting for the white man to lynch him, because the white man will never give him justice. What did Polight do? Polight spoke against Scientology. That's a big devil. They're gonna lynch this man like he's next in line on a lynching rope. And Sarnetta and them niggas over there, they don't give a damn about their man. They're not even using Kemetic law to save him. So in Moorish law, we see that the age of responsibility, the age that you can testify in a court of law, is when you have reached manhood. That's when you receive puberty on your face. You see the signs of puberty on your face. You get an erection, you get a period. When the body is able to reproduce itself, it is mature according to Allah. There's another type of time, Allah says, right? Aj'alu wa ajal musamma indahu, which means that there's another time that man is supposed to be responsible for. Now man is supposed to be developing their child. This is the duty of the parents. This is why in Islam there was a prince. He was the descendant of Muhammad, the son of a prophet, sitting on the throne at the age of 13, Muhammad al-Jawad. Come on, talk about it. See, even in Moorish science, we don't see 14 as a young age. That's the age of maturity, but it's because of these contemporary Negroes like Sarnetta and all of those at the House of Consciousness who have this whitewash mentality mixed with a little bit of blackness. They still have leprosy of the soul. They still got the white man on their hearts. They can't even free their own man. This is why if Polight was a Muslim with the RGY, he would be protected by the law that is free in the United States. There is no law that prohibits the free practice of religion. Too bad those Masons over there at the House of Consciousness hasn't figured that out. You see, Polight is innocent. It's the failure of the parents to properly develop their child, like King Tut and Muhammad al-Jawad was, you was mature back in those days of black culture by the age of 13. You had the knowledge, but today we have video games, SpongeBob, Santa Claus, Leprechaun's Day, Valentine's Day, amusement park, Six Flags. This is what they giving your kids. Cartoons on the rerun, Netflix. This is what you have trained yourself. Negroes of House of Consciousness, you love this shit. You give it to your kids as amusement, as sparing time. This is not something that we did back then. Them kids were ready because we saw family breeding as economics, nigga. So what you're seeing today is a plethora of amusement. The black youth today are like staying in the child's mind by the time they body clock reaches full maturity. The body clock will reach full maturity without your help, mom or dad. You guys failed the youth. Don't blame your inability to give your kid a proper knowledge of self at the young age. So by the time the body clock reached maturity, your ass, these kids will not be out here fucking around. But because you're in a child's state of mind, you're still feeble-minded and young. Niggas like Sarnetta and all of those people at the House of Consciousness are sitting there waiting for the white man to lynch Polight with his law. Shame on them niggas, huh? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give insight to the freedom fighters. Victory for the RGY. Through the Shifa of my ancestors, so I pray. My Moorish ancestors. MashaAllah, la hawla quwwata illa billah.